Assalamu alaikum, guys. I know it's been a while, but Fit is back. So kind of to explain the long gap about why I haven't been making videos or any content was that I was just getting myself educated. So, I've been doing my master's program and it's taken a lot of time and effort. So because of that, I haven't really been able to produce content. But, every Ramadan comes around and I realize that, there are a lot of people that benefit from this content. I benefit from making this content because it's a reminder to myself. So I thought, why not get back to it? Because alhamdulillah, I enjoy it. And for me, it's about making my sadaqah jariyah. This is something that's hopefully that's going to benefit people long after I'm gone from this world. So yeah, that's my motivation to keep making videos, and I really have that itch. I love making videos, I love making content, and it's one of the most fulfilling things when someone reaches out to you and be like, yo, what happened? Those videos that you made, they were so good and they were so inspiring and they're motivating me. And for me, it's like, man, people are actually watching this content and they're really enjoying it and they're benefiting from it. So I just thought, alhamdulillah, I'll get back started. Ramadan's the perfect time. And yeah, so I just got done from a workout post Fajr, and there's some things that are on my mind, namely the idea of goal setting. I talk about this time and time again, but I think Ramadan is the best time to really talk about year-long, lifelong goals. And for me, there's this idea of that I always advocated people doing small, consistent goals, right? Things that you can maintain, things that you can be consistent with. And I think there's a place for that, right? I'm always going to be advocating that. Even after this video, I'm sure you're going to see tons of videos of me advocating for small, consistent goals. And even we know it's part of our religion too. Like, Allah loves those small things that are done consistently versus one grand gesture that you only do once, right? So that's true. But I've found that within myself, and within a lot of other people that I've spoken to, this idea of small, consistent goals, I think it's taken the wrong way a lot of times. I think for a lot of people that starts to mean being complacent. For a lot of people that means not pushing yourself, which I think is the wrong idea. I think you want to push yourself. And I've been listening to a lot of David Goggins lately, and whatever your opinion of him, he has some really good things to say. And one of those things was that he mentioned was that if your goals don't scare you, then they're probably not big enough. And I think that's true for me. I think a lot of times you become comfortable, right? Like, I'm just gonna, like, for example, in Ramadan, I'm gonna read one page of Quran and I'm gonna be content with that. But you've been doing that throughout the whole entire year. So why is that such a big deal that all of a sudden, you have to like look at the scale of it. Like, it's Ramadan, push yourself a little bit. Yeah, maybe you could be consistent with that, which is great, which is good. Like, I think, like, keep doing that. But why not add 2, 3, 4 pages? Push yourself a little bit. And I feel like a lot of time that's where me and a lot of people get stuck, is that we get stuck in this idea of like, no, I don't want to bite off too much more than I can chew. But the thing is, like, I think we downplay ourselves, and we forget about how much we're really capable of. So again, I don't want to make this video too long, but I really want to emphasize the idea of really challenging yourself. Like, be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's where change happens. That's where transformation happens. And recently I've been working with a lot of people who are dealing with pornography and sex addictions. And I find that a lot of times is the case. Is like, okay, I'm going to be content with maybe 3 days of abstinence, or I'm going to be content with not watching porn for 1 day. That's great. You've been consistent with that for a week. I'm not saying don't start there. We all have to start somewhere. But is that where you end? Is that like all you're gonna go for? Like, I think push yourself a little bit. Maybe try. Okay, I'm comfortable with a day of abstinence. Let's push myself to a week of abstinence. Let's push myself to a month. I think having these long-term goals that we're actually working towards, and not just having as pipe dreams. Like, these are things that we're actually taking active steps to accomplish. That's so important. And again, burnout is real. I've been there myself. I know you don't want to bite off so much that you kind of regress and you relapse. But at the same time, if you haven't pushed yourself ever, if you haven't really gone to that extent, how do you know what you're capable of? Why are we so scared of pushing ourselves? And I think a lot of it comes down to the fear of uncomfortability. And if you really want to make a big change in your life, if you really want to push that boundary and become the person that you're meant to be, and realize your true potential, you do have to push yourself, and you do have to come to points where you're almost at your limit, because you won't know your limit until you reach it. So I hope you guys benefit from this content, and inshallah I'm going to try to be more regular with it, especially during Ramadan. And jazakallah khair for listening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.